All right, you may say not affordable, not doable, but something is in the water worldwide because socialists are making inroads in the UK, for example, and we've seen some opposition parties of a liberal bent surging across at least a half a dozen European countries as well. To the Heritage Foundation's Nile Gardiner on that. Nile, I think this is bigger than Bernie Sanders, you know?
No, right, Neil, and what we are seeing across parts of the world, especially in Europe, is a resurgence of the far left. And just this past weekend in London, Jeremy Corbyn won the election for the Labour Party by an overwhelming majority. And Corbyn is a die-hard socialist. He is probably the most extreme left-wing figure that we have seen in British politics for many decades. This is a man, for example, who believes that Britain should leave NATO. He believes in getting rid of Britain's nuclear weapons. He called the death of Osama bin Laden a tragedy. And that shows you just how extreme Jeremy Corbyn is. And he didn't just win the Labour Party vote. He won a stunning landslide victory in the Labour Party.
But see, that's what I mean, It might end there, that he's, obviously galvanized the base in his own Liberal Party, just like Bernie Sanders has galvanized the base in his party. But it might be like a McGovern-like phenomenon. That George McGovern galvanized the base of the Democratic Party in 1972, but went on to a landslide defeat to Richard Nixon that year. In other words, can get the nomination, can get the support of the party, will go nowhere with the general public in a general election. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think for Jeremy Corbyn in Britain, it's going to be extremely difficult for him to win the next general election, which is due in 2020 in the United Kingdom. So I think it's going to be an extremely difficult.
They don't call an earlier election, right? I mean,
yes.
I never understand the way you guys do elections, but
extremely difficult path. But I think what you have seen, Neil, certainly is on both sides of the Atlantic, a resurgence of support for traditional socialism. But here in America as well, I think you've seen an embrace of big government, European-style socialism. And that, I think, is out of touch, out of kilter with what most Americans think. Also, I think that Great Britain is still a conservative country, and I think that Jeremy Corbyn's very radical message isn't going to play very well, actually, with the vast majority of the British people, although he has been backed by a majority within his own party. But the Labour Party, of course, was emphatically defeated in the recent British general election. And I think that with Jeremy Corbyn, they're likely to lose again if they're going to stick to this very radical, hardline socialist agenda.
Bottom line, incumbents or those who are thought to be the main holders of power in their respective parties are not guaranteed a lock on leadership. Later on in this show, we'll explain what happened to Australia's Prime Minister, or shall I say former Prime Minister, who found out the